Hey there, happy Wednesday to you. I'm going to give just a moment for those of you joining me live to hop on. In the meantime, I am super excited for today's mini training. I'm super excited to share today's mini training with you, and I hope that you're excited too. So for everyone who is here now, are you ready? Are you ready? Okay, first I have an important question for you. Are you settling? Are you settling? Now, hear me out. It's possible that you're settling and don't even realize it. You may or may not know this, but over 47% of people are unhappy with their income. And the main reason that most people settle for the status quo financially are these. One, they don't see another way. Two, they're spread too thin. Or three, they're living the life that their parents wanted for them and not necessarily the life that they wanted for themselves, or maybe the life that they even knew that they wanted for themselves. So if you can relate to at least one of those, say that's me. Give me some me's in the chats, in the chat, in the comments. I'm so used to saying chat because I'm so used to being on Zoom. In the comments, let me know if that's you. Okay, me. I'm seeing a lot of me's there. And the thing is I get it because before this journey of mine, before diving into personal professional development, before committing to lifelong learning and learning, if I could speak, and mastery, not only was I one of those 47%, but all three of those things hit home for me, and a lot more, when I look back on that time, it's really frustrating because it took me taking a step back to realize that I was actually, living a great life, but not necessarily the one that I would have chose for myself. I was living the life that I was supposed to live. And the thing is this, I hate that so many people settle financially, because if that's the case, here's the thing. This is really important. I hate that so many people settle, especially financially, because if you're settling financially, then there's a tremendous chance that you might feel unfulfilled, even if you love what you do. Right? Even if you love what you do. And that's what happened to me. That happened to me too. So again, remember, it's possible that you settle financially, and not only are you settling financially, but you might feel unfulfilled even if you love what you do. And again, that's what happened to me. So the solution is a peaceful billionaire state of mind. And in this video, in this mini training today, I'm going to show you how to use Peaceful Millionaire Principle number four, so that you can improve the quality of your thoughts and the quality of your results without settling. Does that sound good to any of you? Yes or yes? Would that be okay? All right. Fantastic. All right. Peaceful Millionaire Principle number 4 is this. Are you ready for it? Peaceful Millionaire Principle number 4 is this. Accepting mediocrity in any area of life is a choice, not an obligation. Accepting mediocrity in any area of life is a choice, not an obligation, especially in your financial life. Woo, all right. Now, I know that can be really hard to hear, and I'm not looking to ruffle your feathers here, okay? I'm not. What I'm here to do is ignite a spark and be a beacon of hope, a beacon of change for you. So if you are unhappy or settling in your financial life, the other thing is this, there's a huge chance that you're also settling in other areas of your life. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, right? If you're unhappy or settling in your financial life, there's a tremendous chance that you're settling in other areas of your life. Now, if you're guilty of that, you don't have to condone yourself, right? But if you are, you know that. So is it okay if I share a story with you to show you not only how to put Peaceful Millionaire Principle number 4 to work for you, but kind of how I put it to work for me? Would that be okay? All right, amazing. Thank you. All right, let me find it. Now, before I tell you the story, first, quick reminder, Peaceful Millionaire Principle number 4 is accepting mediocrity in any aspect of your life is a choice, not an obligation, especially in your financial life. And you're going to combat this. Here's how you're going to combat this. You're going to combat that by starting to ask yourself better questions. Starting to ask yourself better questions. Why? Because if you ask yourself better questions, you'll get better answers. You'll get better answers. Ask yourself better questions and you will get better answers. Now, I finally started asking myself better questions when I was like 35, okay? And for those of you who are close to your mid 30s, right, or you're approaching mid 30s, just know that it is very normal. That's actually extremely typical for this period in your life when you start seeking change. You start seeking something different, and you are really interested in understanding yourself better, understanding life better, achieving better results, and just living a better life overall. And you're willing to work towards becoming the highest and best version of yourself in order to achieve and receive that. Does that make sense? All right. So again, it's super normal, especially around that age for you to start seeking. So just know that that's completely normal. All right. So back to those questions. Again, if you ask yourself better questions, you'll get better answers. So here is what I asked myself back when mid 30s for me. What I asked myself was this: Jessa, what do you want in the next 5 to 10 years of your life? What does that look like? What do the next 5 to 10 years of your life look like? Personally, professionally, romantically, financially, right? What did I want? What did I want? And what did I want that to look like? And here's an important caveat to that, right? So again, I asked myself, what do you want the next 5 to 10 years of your life to look like? Personally, professionally, romantically, and financially. Not what does your mother think you should or shouldn't have at this age? Not what does society think you should or shouldn't have at this age, but what the actual F does Jessa want? What the actual F does Jessa want? And let me tell you something. The answers to those questions were very different than I expected. So when I stripped it down and I really leaned into my desires, I discovered that they were very different from the life that my mother envisioned for me. I discovered that even after a divorce, whoa, that even my computer just went crazy on me. That happens when you're live, and that's okay. So I discovered that even after a divorce and then later losing a fiance, I discovered that I desired to have a meaningful relationship again. Now, it had been years, just so you know, it had been years. Probably about 5 years before I got to that place where I was ready for that. And I also discovered that not only did I want to have a meaningful relationship again, but I desired to build and share an extraordinary life with someone. I discovered that I was open to having kids with the right partner, even though that was something that I was not really open to previously, because again, I was living by this construct that there were certain things that I was supposed to do. So just to give you a little bit of context on that, that context for myself was I was raised to be very strong, very independent, very successful, never need a man, right? And what happens is my mind, your mind is a literalist. And so your brain can actually take those things really to heart and very literally. And so the way that showed up in my life was me being single, really most of the time. So even though, yes, I was married, that was for a short time. And even though I was engaged to be married again, there were time in between and still, and to date, just over the course of my life, I've actually been single much longer than I've been in relationships. So that was how those constructs and those belief systems had shown up for me in the past. All right. So again, I asked myself these questions. Here are some of the other things. I'm gonna switch back over. Here are some of the other things that I discovered. So again, so I discovered that I was open to having kids with the right partner, even though that wasn't something that I had wanted previously. And that even though I had a great career, that I desired more professionally and financially. So that was a big one. That was a big one. I realized that I desired to help others in a far more profound and positive way than I was ever going to be able to behind those four corporate walls of a hospital. And for those of you who work in medicine, you know that those are very corporate walls. And sometimes, sometimes if you've been there for a long time, it can, those four walls can also start to feel like they're closing in on you, can start to feel like a bit of a prison. But even though I loved what I do, there was still just what I did. There was still just a lot of restriction, and that restriction can make you feel. It made me feel very constricted and very limited, and had also placed a nice glass ceiling on my earning potential because I was 10 years into my career in medicine in neurosurgery, and I had really hit that glass ceiling. I was pretty much maxed out. And that was really frustrating because this desire to help people outside of those four walls of medicine and to do something else, I didn't know what that was early on. But what I finally started to understand was this whisper that I had been hearing since I was a little girl. And that whisper was, Jessa, you're supposed to be rich. Jessa, you're meant to be rich. It was this little whisper. And you might have heard that whisper too. You might have heard that whisper too. And if you have, right, maybe you know that you're meant to be wealthy too. And here's what I want to share with you, because I never knew this. I never knew this before. And the great news is that it's very normal. It is very, very normal for you to have a sense within you that you are meant for more, that you are meant to be rich, that you are meant to be wealthy, that you are meant to be a huge, great, tremendous success. Just know that if you're feeling that, if you have experienced that within yourself, that it is completely normal. It is nothing to be ashamed of or to feel greedy about. That desire for more in life, it's actually etched in your DNA. It is etched in your DNA. So that's the good news. Now, unfortunately, this living the status quo, settling for mediocrity, falling into a life that isn't your own and not even realizing it, that unfortunately is far more common than you think. And just so you know, I didn't share any of that story or any of that with you to knock my mother. Not at all. Not at all. I adore my mom. She is the best mom ever. But like everyone else, she operates from her own set of fears and her own set of beliefs. And what I ended up learning is that they were not mine. Those beliefs, those fears that she had, they were not mine. And they didn't have to influence how I chose to live my life. So here's the thing. No one, no one can raise the bar or raise the standards in your life except for you. No one else, right? I can't do it for you. Now, if you want to raise the bar, if you want to raise the standards in your life, I can support you on that journey, yes, but I cannot do it for you. So if you are settling in any aspect of your life, understand, even though it's a hard pill to swallow, understand that this is a choice. You are choosing subpar. You are choosing mediocrity. But the problem is, right? The problem isn't you. The problem is most people aren't even aware of it, right? You're not aware that you're actually choosing these things, right? Because most people fall into, oh, this is just my life. This is how it's supposed to be, and it's very easy to just to fall into that pattern, and just sort of that day to day, right? That day to day repetition, which some people might describe as the rat race. You might describe it as being, stuck or trapped on the hamster wheel. And when you're in it, when you're really, really in that, it is very challenging to have the awareness that you're actually choosing that level of mediocrity, that you're settling, and that's actually a choice, right? So it's very easy to fall into that. So know that that's not on you, right? It's not your fault. I'm just bringing these things into your awareness so that if you choose to, you can make some changes and do something about it. Is that okay? Right? That's a good thing, right? Yes. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. All right. And again, most people aren't aware of this. And for such a very long time, I wasn't either. So again, I get that. Now, here is what you need to know. Here's what you need to know. You have the power. You have the power to choose differently. In fact, you are armed with 27 billion kilowatts of power and a $27 billion asset right here to choose differently. Right? So you own a $27 billion asset right here. Your mind is a $27 billion asset, and you are armed. It is fueled with 27 billion kilowatts of power for you to create change in your life, for you to transform your life, transform your financial destiny, to have anything you choose in this life. All right. So, P.S. If this story, by the way, if this story has touched your heart and been impactful for you, first of all, I would love to know. So you can, if you're receiving this in an email, you can respond to the email. If you're here with me live, you can give me some love. Let me know in the comments. If this has been meaningful for you, you can certainly feel free to tag or share this with someone that you know, love, and care about, that you feel would benefit from this as well. And if you would like to dive deeper, and get really, really clear on what it is that you really desire in this lifetime, so that you can raise the bar, so that you can raise the standard in your life, I created a really, really valuable Peaceful Millionaire guidebook that walks you step by step through designing your peaceful millionaire life. And it's totally free. It is my gift to you. So if you would like that, Peaceful Millionaire Life guidebook, then all you need to do is look below this video. There will be a button or a link for you just below this video to click on. And as soon as you do, you'll be able to put in your email and get instant access to this insanely valuable tool. All right, so that's it. If it interests you, go ahead and grab it. It'll be sent to you right away. The highest potential and peaceful billionaire in me sees and honors the highest potential and peaceful billionaire in you. I will see you next Wednesday for the next mini training and the next principle.